Hey, Hermit.
Hi.
How is everybody doing? How are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good. Do you know, we've been sitting chatting and I've been kind of my mind's been in a couple of places. One, I couldn't find where the hell the comments were, and just as the countdown was happening, I found them and I was like, great. And then I'm sitting looking, I'm thinking, I'm missing something. It was only the blooming deck. I hadn't taken the deck off the shelf. So we're all singing, we're all dancing, we're good to go. So I'm great now.
That's good.
How are
Yeah,
you?
and on EV Mux, you can only see the comments now once you go live. They changed that. It never used to be like that. They only changed it like 6 months ago. Me and Cheryl noticed it when we was doing a spotlight. So I could see them all on my iPad through YouTube, but it's really annoying because you can't see them until you actually live stream them.
Right. Well, that makes sense why I couldn't find them then.
Yeah. Let's do some hellos before it gets really busy. So we've got Marilyn was the first one in. Hello, Marilyn. How are you? And Marilyn's got this deck, so she's going to try and watch from work. Judy is here. She hasn't got the deck, but she likes the look of it. And Anna, hi Anna, and Jennifer, and Twigger, hi Twigger. And we have Golden, hello, and Tina. We have I always forget key features, your name. You've told me so many times, and I almost always forget. If you say it now, Chris will remember because Chris has got a really good memory. Months. Nicola, that's it. Nicola, thank you. I knew it began with an N, but
I'll try to remember.
Yeah. And Nicola even told me like last week, it's Nicola, by the way. I'm like, yes, of course. And we've got Moomin, hello, and Roman is here also, and Linda, and our Sandra's here. Hi, Sandra. So, and Sunique, hello, Sunique. Oh, and Ferdy is just coming. Ferdiad. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. And Trisha. Trisha's showing on there, but she's not showing on. That's because the
she's on my side.
Yeah. Is there anybody else you need to? Obviously, Trisha should have looked at that one, shouldn't have, rather than the iPad.
So I've got David. Hi, David. You've mentioned Ferdiad. Ferdiad must be across both. Trisha. Moran's here. Hi, Moran. How are you? And that's it for my side of the chat.
Cool. We've got Kelly Reid stuff. David Wilson's just come in. Yeah. So lovely. I'm trying to remember.
See, can you see the same thing as me? Where above it there's a studio mode thing, and where you can turn it on and off, like above us, above our picture.
Oh yeah. What's that do?
If you click that on, does that put the comments on the? Oh goodness me, that's not what I expected it to be. Right, never mind. Never mind, abandon that. No, I thought there's some of the streaming platforms where you can click something like that and see the comments. It actually brings them up on the actual screen beside us, and it means that everyone is seeing everyone's comments rather than only seeing them on your side. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. That we just did as well. That didn't show for everybody else because I was looking at my iPad. So that split screen that people are probably thinking, what are they going on about?
Oh, okay.
I can't see Ferdiad or Wilson. So they might be on Chris's channel. So what do you call it? Simulcasting,
multi-streaming.
Yeah, so it's going out both on the Hermit's Cave and on Chris's channel. So it's a joint thing because it's two channels collaborating together.
Yeah. So David and Ferdiad and Moran have decided that I'm their favourite, and that's why they can only see each other because they're on my side, whereas everybody else has decided you're their favourite.
There's no favourites here. No favourites. It's a really they can't see everybody as well in it. You know how we can. You think it would have worked a way for it to. It's like when I set it up, because I think you must have set it up last time. I set it up and then I went, because I did it on my lunch break, and then I went to see your channel, because you know when you set something, as soon as you go into YouTube, it wasn't there, and I was like, well, it's showing that it's streaming to both,
Right.
but you have to go into each one, and I had to put the font, the text that was in mine, copy and paste it into yours, the title that was in mine, copy and paste into yours, the thumbnail image, paste it into yours, and then I had to make sure the little toggle button was across. So I was like, oh, wow.
I don't remember doing all that, but I could have done, and I've just forgotten it.
Yeah. Greg's here as well. It says
Hey, Greg.
lots of people coming in now. Lots of people here. So, shall we make a start?
Yeah, before we do, I want to apologise in advance if my dogs get annoying. So basically, Sandy's away in Ghent, away to Belgium. So it's just me here just now. So I've got the dogs. They're kind of in the living room just there. But it means that you might hear them whinging, or if someone has the audacity to walk down Cumbernauld Road, you'll hear them barking. And I'll try my best to keep them calm, but yeah, they might get a wee bit annoying, because usually Sandy's got them away in another room with them. So just letting everybody know.
And David, I didn't call you Wilson. I was reading a comment. I was reading this comment. I can't see Ferdiad or Wilson, and I thought, well, I can't see Wilson either. So Wilson always reminds me of Castaway. Have you seen that with Tom Hanks in the football? Wilson.
Right.
Oh, hi, Cheryl.
Dennis the Menace. Have you ever seen the film Dennis? No? Oh, it's quite a good film.
Is it based on Dennis the Menace?
Yeah, I think so. Right. I think so. But yeah, he's kind of I don't know if they're neighbours. I think they are. I think they're neighbours, but his neighbours are like the old couple are Mr. and Mrs. Wilson. And Mr. Wilson is the one that he's always annoying. But yeah, good film.
Yeah, no problem at all about the doggies, says Anna. And yeah, doggies can never be a problem, can they? Love to hear them.
Well, that less said about that, the
better. You're forgiven, Simon. I'm not a volleyball. All right. So, welcome to Throwback Thursday. So, quick introductions. If you're on either one's channel, I'm Simon, and I'm from the Hermit's Cave, and
I'm Chris from Elemental Cartomancy. But you weren't pointing at me there on my screen. You were pointing like off the other side of the screen.
Oh, really? I wonder how it came out. I'm in my notes now, so I can't see what YouTube's showing. But if it's your first time here, Throwback Thursday is an opportunity to have a look at some old decks that both Chris and I have in our collections, and they are 3 years or older. And it doesn't necessarily mean we've had them for 3 years either, but that's kind of our rule, that if it's 3 years or older, we'll get them back out. And it's an opportunity not just to talk about the stuff that we talk about with new decks, of the shiny, although this deck is very lush, the production quality, blah, 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 but also, having worked with them for a bit, what we like about the deck, how we think it reads for us, and also some of our favorite cards. And it's also an opportunity, I think, to look at, I find this, I'm sure you do, Chris, as well, an opportunity to look at older decks with some fresh eyes, because I think when you've had a a time away from them and work with other decks, and you go back to them again. There's things that you remember, but things that you've also forgotten. And there's little nuances with certain decks. And so for me, it's like I'm looking at it with a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
It's a monthly series, so we've been going now for about 3 years, I think, with a little bit of a break.
Yep.
And the deck that we're going to be looking at today is the Fyodor Pavlov Tarot by Fyodor Pavlov, and it was released by US Games.
Yep. So it was released by US Games, but it was originally indie, wasn't it? It was created by Fyodor Pavlov and came out in 2020. And then it went mass market in 2022. US Games picked it up. And I've got the mass market version. Have you got mass market as well?
Yeah. Was it Kickstart? Was it a Kickstarter campaign?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think somebody at the time as well said that this was one of the only decks where the mass market version felt superior to the indie version.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm really interested in hearing from people in the chat if they had the indie version and whether that is the case.
I know Ferdiad absolutely loves this deck, and I've seen, like, this was one of the, when I first knew Ferdiad on YouTube, Ferdiad was using this deck a lot. So I'm curious to know what version Ferdiad has, and everyone else, of course, but just because I know that Ferdiad works with it quite a lot. So Fyodor Pavlov is a Russian-American queer artist. I believe Fyodor Pavlov is trans. And yeah, I've said the publisher is US Games. Actually, so I got this deck 2 years ago, and do you know why I got this deck? Because I've got a friend, his name is Tom Harlow. He's quite well known. He's a queer what is it that Tom does? Like, he does different things. It's not quite drag, but it's like performance, and he was actually like well known for like dressing up as a mermaid and telling like kids stories. There was a thing a good few years back now. There's a big controversy around it. You may well even have heard of it. And apparently, like, J.K. Rowling's called him a prick, and I was like, well, anybody that she calls a prick is like just went way up in my estimations. But anyway, so that was Tom, and then so I got to know Tom, and it wasn't until after I got to know him that I realised that Tom was that person. Anyway, Tom is friends with Fyodor, and when I was kind of talking to Tom about me being into tarot and stuff, that he says, "Oh, I know someone who created the tarot deck, Fyodor Pavlov," and I was like, I know the Fyodor Pavlov deck, and that was what made me get it. Anyway, that was a big long story. Sorry that nobody asked for.
But no, that's a cool connection. I love hearing this type of stories. That's a really cool connection. Yeah, I got it. Gosh, when did I get it? February 2023. So I've just had it just over 3 years. Sandra, I think I was with you when I bought it. I bought it from Curious Goods in Chesterfield, the shop with like hundreds of tarot decks. And I do remember at the time thinking that was the most I'd ever spent on a mass market deck. I think it was just under £60, something like 50, £58, something like that. I'd have to go back and watch my unboxing and walkthrough of it or whatever it was I did at the time. But then you open it up, don't you? And you just know why it costs what it costs, because the quality is exceptional. And again, it was another deck at the time where people were like, wow, this is now possible with mass market decks, that we can get this level of quality. So it was Curious Goods, yes, definitely. I thought it was. My memory's not Not as bad as I thought. So yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about the quality, weren't you?
Yeah.
So do you want me to go through some of the specs?
Yeah. So yeah, Astrid really spoke about the quality. That was your big one. Yeah, I'll pick up from the cards and art style.
So
Just
yeah,
kick me onto the table, Chris.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Let me see. Let me do this so that you can actually see. So we've got one of these nice solid 2-part boxes, which we all love. The book is one of the things that's really kind of quite different to me. There's not very many tarot decks that have a book like this. It's like a hardback book, which is really cool. And not only is the actual quality production of the book really good, like you're getting like color images and all that kind of a thing, but look at how much information you're getting for each card. Like loads of information, and it's not just like look at, so there's the 6 of Cups, right? 6 of Cups goes all the way from there down to there. So the 6 of Cups has actually got a good three or 4 pages worth of information on it. So this is a pretty good book. There's not very many decks that I would say, do you know what? If this is your first tarot deck, get that, because the book will really set you up. Usually you're kind of saying to people, do you know what? Get that tarot deck, but also get that book. Whereas I feel like this would be a really good starter for 10 for people. So the book is exceptional. And then the cards, like, do you like the cards, the card stock and stuff?
Oh yeah, cardstock is beautiful. I love the backs as well. The backs are stunning.
Yeah, they've got these kind of a cold stamped golden stars. So you can kind of see the way we're holding it, that it shines. And yeah, it's a kind of a linen cardstock, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the sides are gold foil. But it's if I remember rightly, it's really good quality gold foil. It didn't come all stuck together. It's one of the few decks that I've gotten where it didn't all come stuck together. So yeah, really, really good quality deck in terms of the production of it.
I was just going to add as well, just when you were saying about the book, what I really liked about the book is that this is an RWS deck. It follows the RWS tradition. And what he, or I suppose it's they, is it? Do they use they, them pronouns? I'll say them.
Or is he, him? I think it's he, him.
Okay. So what he does is he talks about a lot in the book about how that image might appear in the RWS deck, and then the artistic kind of liberties that he's taken to create the images that he's created. And particularly like in the moon card, he would say, oh gosh, what did he say? He says something that the moon is flat. I think he watching the RWS, and he wanted it to be more about nature. So there's trees rather than man-made structures of the 2 towers and things like that. So he kind of gives you, which I've said a million times, I love it when artists and creators talk about why their viewpoint on the tarot and why they've depicted those cards the way that they have. And Fyodor Pavlov really does that. And then, yeah, the only other thing to say about the cardstock is they are a little bit larger than a standard tarot card, but it has that really nice. So you mentioned it being linen. When I first picked this up, I was like, it's not linen. But you get different types of linen. You get the coarse linen, like something like one of the tattoo tarots. Can't remember which one now. It's really coarse, like almost you can strike a match on it. Then you get the nice soft linen, and then you get this linen where you can hardly feel that it's linen. But the quality of this card is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it is a little bit bigger than um, a little bit bigger than a standard tarot.
Yep.
Not a huge amount, but
Yeah, no, I never even noticed it. Like before I compared them, I didn't notice it was bigger. So that's quite cool.
yeah, and I agree. Twiggalina says, the moment I opened the box and saw that book, all those old memories of Ladybird books came flooding back. Oh, I love that. I've got a couple because they re-released them again. And they're exactly the same. The only difference is they have a dust jacket on them, but I managed to get a couple of my old favourite ones.
Yeah.
So, so in terms of the cards and art style, I have jotted down a couple of notes from earlier. So it is painted in a classical sort of watercolor and ink style. And reading about it, it was saying that it's heavily influenced and inspired by Renaissance tradition. However, when you think of Renaissance, you think of oil paintings, don't you? But it's the style and the composition of the cards and the positioning of the figures in the cards. And also, because of Fyodor's background in terms of the arts, performance, that comes through heavily in some of the card compositions as well. And it is very RWS inspired. So there's lots of RWS influences in there as well, which I think makes it quite accessible for a lot of tarot readers. So when you were saying about, Chris, kind of encouraging people about their first deck, you wouldn't think twice about this. I think that's another aspect that makes it really, really accessible.
Yeah. Definitely.
And there's also influences of theatrical and musical performances, which, as I said, reflects Pavlov's background as a musician and was he an opera singer? Did I read that somewhere as well? That
I'm not sure.
they'd done some opera singing.
Let me look and see what it says about him in the book, because there's a wee bit of information on him in here.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I'll just show you a couple of well, not our favourite cards because we're coming up to that, but some of the cards that you can tell are very theatrical, and also there's going to be nudity because this deck doesn't shy away from bodies and nudity, but again, a very theatrical pose. I also wrote the Three of Cups, very theatrical, and the Page of Wands for the musician sort of element.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't see in the book if anything about like music and all that. It just talks about his art.
Okay. Yeah, and then the only other thing I'd say about the artwork is one of the reasons why I really wanted to get the deck when I heard about it is the deck is hugely celebrated, or certainly was hugely celebrated for its inclusive representation. And it depicts queer relationships, diverse body shapes, gender expression, but it's done in quite a natural and integrated way, rather than it being done as a novelty. And that's not to knock anybody else that's attempted it, but sometimes they do feel a little bit like it's the ticking boxes as they go through, almost like an EDI check sheet. But this, represents Fyodor's life as well and lived experiences. Because it's named the deck after himself, then that's what you'd expect, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Niels is here as well. Hi, Niels. And Moonbear.
Must be quite late for Niels. Must be about 10:30. I'm sure he's ahead of us. So well done you. You're still awake. Moonbear says my readings with this deck are easy and spot on. That's really good to hear. I know that further up, I think it was Moran that had said, like, and I don't think there's anything controversial about it, Moran, but it's so very controversial, but I couldn't connect with this deck. The art is amazing, the quality is amazing, but the readings I was getting were upsetting me, so I let it go. So I think sometimes that can happen. Sometimes we just either we don't connect with something or we get a bit of a weird connection with it. And I think that it's good that we recognise that and we don't feel that we need to connect brilliantly with everything. That's why it's so good that there's so many like choices out there, isn't that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love though to unpick that more. I know we won't have time now, but you know, because with Moran saying they were upsetting me, I'd love to know what it was about the reading that was upsetting. Whether it's the interpretation of the cards, or whether some of the images were confronting, or I'd love to know kind of the upsetting nature of it. Because when you're just reading it out, I was thinking, have I ever been upset by a deck? Or I've had decks where I just think, I'm just not gelling with it. That tends to be the primary thing for me. I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. So yeah, but if you're happy to share that, Moran, then please feel free. Yeah. Oh, that's the Iron Brew.
Yeah, I've just finished my tea and moved on to my Iron Brew. I'm dead thirsty tonight for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm not drank enough water today.
Yeah, so just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say really about it before we moved on.
How do you use it? There's a dog at my feet.
I think if I want a reading that's kind of more reflective and emotionally nuanced, I've reached for this. Again, the good thing about doing Throwback is it gets me to work with it. And I don't know if you saw, I did a video a few days ago, and I mentioned that I was working with this at the moment because we was doing Throwback, and I wanted to have that connection. Because last month it was like the day before, and I felt that when we did the Throwback last month, I hadn't worked with it enough to have that reconnection to talk about it in the way that I could perhaps talk about this one. So next month, I'm going to get it out at least a week before so that I can start to work with it. But yeah, I do think that it's a deck for like personal growth, but certainly for me, for reflective readings. I do think it's very honest. And Miranda's put, sorry, I tried many times because I loved it and loved the LGBTQ plus part of it. And he's put a bit, I'm not even sure. I just thought this deck didn't want to speak with me and I wasn't getting anything from it. That's fair enough. I can relate to that, where you just think it's just not speaking to me. Good night, Cheryl. Sharon's saying good night as well.
Oh, bye, Cheryl.
Shrewsbury took a wrong turn and ended up in. Oh no. Oh wow. Or have a good whatever you're there for, work or conference or training. Hope you have a good day. And get plenty of
time today. I was driving Sandy to Edinburgh Airport, and sat nav lied to me, the little bitch that she is. She told me to be in the left lane going round the roundabout, and that took me off at the wrong exit. So it took me back onto the motorway going in the wrong direction. And anyway, it only added on a few minutes to my journey, but I get dead stressed out when I'm driving places that I don't know. So yeah, sorry to hear that, Cheryl. Feel your pain.
And yeah, I think the deck is quite an intimate deck. It's got a real human quality, but I think that's why I really like it. What about you? How do you find it when you're reading with it?
Really good. I kind of like you. I've probably not read with it as much as I would want to have before this. I'm sure I can't remember, did I use it last week when I was reading? I can't remember. I used it for something. I was doing a reading on something and I used it. But I also took it, so I was doing a market last week and I took it with me and had it as one of the decks on the table for the clients to pick from. But it ended up being a really quiet market and I only read 3 people and nobody picked the deck. So yeah, I never got to use it as much as I would like. But what I would say is, from what I have used it, it reads really well. I feel as though I've never really got a very good, very deep answer for this question because I kind of just use all my decks as all-purpose. There's very few decks that I could probably count in one hand the amount of decks that I have where I'm like, right, that's just for that. Do you know what I mean? Marielle probably kind of have been one just because it is so different. But anyway, so yeah, it's kind of an all-rounder is the short answer to that question.
Yeah, and that's great, isn't it? I if I have a favourite deck, I tend to use it for everything because I just want to work with it and see how it reads in different situations as well.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I go through a process of elimination, so I'll be like, that didn't really work for that. Or you see a deck that's got quite childlike images, not childish, but childlike images, and I think, that'd be good for inner child work, and then actually isn't. So then you think, well, process of elimination, it's not for that.
Yeah.
See, this is not a deck that I would ever use for something like pathworking because the imagery just does not lend itself to that. Beautiful landscapes and things like that are decks that I would use for that. So, but it is a good reader. But I think because it's so quite personal and human, that's why I think it's great for that sort of personal growth. I would have been interested if somebody had chose that at your reading. Do you do any sort of disclaimers? Because obviously there's quite a lot of nudity, and so would you, if you picked it, would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say just to in fact, so I can't remember, one of the ladies I read for, I think it was just the RWS she picked. And anyway, I did a reading with that, but as I was doing her, and as we were chatting, she was kind of having a look and she's like, oh, I actually really like this. And at that point I said, and I would have said if she'd picked it, just to let you know, there is nudity throughout that deck. Just as long as that doesn't offend you, feel free to have a wee, or as long as you're not put off by that, feel free to have a thumb through. And she said, what was it she said? She was she Swedish? Whatever she was, I think she was Swedish. She was like, oh, I don't mind nudity, I'm Swedish, or whatever it was. I was like, all right, okay. Do you just walk about the scud then? Like, what happens? Why does that make a difference? It made me chuckle.
I went to Sweden. I didn't see anybody in the boat.
No, no single hoo-has or boobies or anything. No,
no, nothing. No,
well.
Went to Stockholm. Never saw. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Yeah, no, everybody was fully clothed. Put it that way.
Okay.
It was my Mormon days, though.
Oh well.
Okay. So, shall we talk about some of our
favourites?
Yeah, and I was thinking about this because I was like, well, I don't know if I can, and I don't know about you, I don't know if I can verbalize. I've got a sheet of paper and I've just put like which cards and like the one word.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just about how an image just looks and you think, oh, that's a little bit different. That's a bit different to it's an RWS deck, and I think that's a little bit different. So I don't want to just pull a card up and say, I like this version. But with this deck, sometimes it's just as simple as that, without having to unpick it all and say, oh, I really like the owl that's in the moon card. Not about that. It's just I like the way that he has depicted the moon card in this particular deck.
Yeah. No, I'm the exact same. And to be honest, a lot of the times when we do this, I'm the same. There's not really 9 times out of 10, there isn't a deep reason why I like a certain card. It's just because it pleases me to look at it. And that is the same for a lot of this deck. What I would say is I am very big on colour. I like bright and bold colours. And this deck is not. If you're like you really need lots of colour in a card, I probably wouldn't recommend this deck to you because it's quite there are beautiful colours in it, but there's cards that don't have a lot of colour. But sorry.
No, go on. Sorry, I cut you up.
I was just going to say the cards that I have picked, I think a lot of them are because they do have big, bright bursts of colour. That was the point I was making. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the major arcana will have splashes of colour without being kind of, a primary colour throughout, whereas each of the minors, so the cups are blue, and the wands are like a green colour.
Yeah.
And then I really love the red of the sword.
Yeah, same.
Really pop. I mean, I'll just show you one, and this is one of my favourites anyway. Just how vibrant that red is.
Yeah.
And then we have like an orangey brown for the earth suit, the pentacles, or it's coins in this deck, but
yeah, it's quite good when I like. I don't know. I quite like it when I deck kind of a color codes in that way. I think it's quite pleasing. But yeah, do you want to start? How many favourites have you got, Simon? Because I don't have as much for this one.
I've got, I think 8 for the majors. Oh no, 10 for the majors.
Yeah, I've got 5, so you go first.
2 for the cups, 3 for the cups, 1 for the wands, 3 for the 3 for the swords, and 2 for the coins.
Right, I've got 5 majors, 3 cups, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swords. No wands, no coins.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't like the other cards. I actually like most, if not all, of the cards in this deck.
Same.
These are just the ones that caught my eye.
Yeah. Okay, well, my first one I'm going to show that I really like is the High Priestess.
Nice.
I think this is beautiful. And again, this is one of those cards where he's taken, let me take down the comment, where he's kind of taken, he's looked at the RWS and he's done his own version. So the pillars are they're like plinths that's holding her upright. So she's sitting in there. I love this veil. When she's opening the veil behind her, there's the universe, connecting her to the heavens. So usually we would see like the curtain behind and the peeping through of the universe behind, but she's part of it, which I just think is really stunning. And I think I read in the book that she was the Oracle of Delphi. So I had to look then. I don't know, Pythia. But yeah, I just thought that was a gorgeous card.
Beautiful. My first favourite is actually the Strength card. Oh, I'm very zoomed out. Strength card. The colour. I love that deep, beautiful purple colour. Pinky purple. I think it's in the like. Is this a wolf? Like, see that black wolf as
It's a mix of a wolf and a werewolf.
Oh,
which is really cool. It's one of my favourites as well.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful. Love it. Love the colour. When you zoom that in.
I'll mention it as well because it is one of mine. But yeah, I love the pop of the pink against the black, and the flowers around her head and also around the wolf, connecting them both. But it's also representing that it doesn't need to be tamed. It's connecting with the beast, with your beast within.
Yeah,
I think it's really nice.
Nice. What's your next one?
I just to say, I just think for abundance and pleasure, don't need to say much more than that. I think Empress is stunning.
It's beautiful. Do you want to do another one?
I'll just mention the Emperor, but it's a Roman Emperor, and we don't often see that with Emperor cards. But I just love the clothing, and look on the breastplate. We've got the ram engraved in the breastplate, and I had to look this up because I don't tend to look at books, when I first get decks, because I want to make my own connection with it. And I've often used to think, I wonder what that scroll is, rather than thinking, why don't you look in the book and find out? So when I was doing this, I did, and it's just and I haven't written it down. Why did I not write it down? Bear with me. It does mention the scroll. In his left hand, he carries a scroll, which is another symbol of peace, law, and knowledge, and a written testament of the emperor's power. And again, this is what's great about the book. He describes the card and what all the symbols are in the card. So it's a real gem for that.
Brilliant. Niels, no, this was always going to be about Fyodor Pavlov. Last month, Simon and I did Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. So I think that's maybe what you're thinking of. But that was last month, and we did do that. This month was Fyodor Pavlov, because I don't have Tarot of the Holy Light. Just to answer Niels' question.
Okay.
Cool. Right. I would imagine that you're probably going to have my next favourite because it's the Hermit.
No. Well.
No?
No, I've got another one before the Hermit. So you do the Hermit, then I'll.
Right. Okay. Again, I just love the colour. I love the kind of a blue of the the cloak, and I love the black starry night. I love a night hermit card because I see the Hermit as like almost like the fool's initial part of his journey coming to an end, and he's kind of reflecting on how far he's come so far. So I find it quite pleasing when the Hermit's at night. But yeah, I think this is a beautiful card. And I believe she's like very female presenting, but you don't often get female hermit cards.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention the lovers, because I think this is really unapologetically body positive for trans identities. I think it's again, I was reading in the book about it, and it was just the fact that and look at the hand fasting as well, that tying together, and he puts trees a lot in his artwork, which representing connections of the roots and also the nature. But yeah, I just think it's great for trans identity and body positivity.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to do another one? All the majors that I've got.
I just wanted to mention the Hanged Man. So when I first saw this image, this reminded me of a Derek Jarman film called Sebastian, and it was the first queer film I ever saw as a teenager, and I remember just being transfixed that this, late 80s, early 90s, of seeing a film that was so kind of out there. I've never seen it before. And then when I looked it up in the book, that's exactly who it is. It's Saint Sebastian. And that image just stuck with me at the end, where he was being crucified, but people were shooting these arrows into him. So it just kind of connected me back to that.
Cool. Nicholas said, I do like when the artist makes the picture step outside the borders, and that was something that I actually meant to mention as well. I love that about this deck too. So we've got these borders, but yeah, as Nicholas says, the pictures do kind of seep outside them, which I find really aesthetically pleasing when a deck does that. I don't know, there's just something really cool about it, I think. So yeah. My next one is Death.
Yeah,
I think it's a
brilliant.
really cool image.
Yeah,
I just love like what is going on there. Like
it's for me. It's like dancing with death, isn't it?
yeah, there's a kind of a. It almost looks confrontational and fearful and aggressive, but also really intimate. And there's like you feel different ways about it. But yeah, I just think it's really cool, and I love how the wee pop of color is inside Death's hood.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really cool, and you've got the I don't know if that's a rose, but some kind of a flower down the bottom as well. Wee pop of purple.
And there's a real intimacy, isn't there, about it? And
Yeah.
there can't be anything more intimate than death. Do you know what I mean? And it, it's just incredible. You got like you said, the hourglass. You've got the book where everything's written down.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredible image.
Yeah, that's lovely. What's your next one?
The devil.
No.
And what he did here was taken demonized women. So Lilith, Eve, women who have been demonized and depicted them as the devil. And I just thought that was great. And again, the detailing within this image is just phenomenal.
Yep. Beautiful. Mine's is the tower next. Just the colour again.
Yeah.
The colour and I think the image is beautifully done. It's very simple, but at the same time, like really detailed and just a really beautiful painting. Basically, I sure like it.
And like you're saying about coming out the images, look at the little droplets of water that are spilling out.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant tarot card.
Yep. And the people are a wee bit more proportionate to the actual tower as well.
Always a bonus for me.
What have you got next?
I've got the moon because I love the owl. No, I'm joking. I just love faces and moons, and this has always been one of my favorites. And then, like I said, I read about it, and he was saying that he wanted to strip back, and the two towers aren't, they're man-made structures. These are, natural trees. It's nature. We've got the wolf, but it's just one wolf. Wolves, he said, are often synonymous with full moons. You often see a barking at the moon or howling at the moon, but it's just a really the moon's expression looking down. It's just really sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm usually not a big fan of faces and moon cards. I don't know. There's just something. I don't know if it's faces and suns and moons just makes me think Teletubbies. So it does. I've just never been able to get that out of my head. But I do. Again, it's the artwork. I love the wolf. I love the owl. The trees are beautiful. Like, there's a real deep intricacy to the trees, the way that they're winding and they're gnarly and stuff. I just think it's a really well done, well illustrated card.
I'm just looking because Sonique has asked if it's the same wolf from the strength card. And all it says here is, talks about instead of man-made structures, the moon pours its light onto craggy forest. Instead of a dog and a wolf, the werewolf from strength card reappears. Yes, it is.
I knew. Well spotted, Sonique.
Yeah,
Yeah, right enough. Beautiful.
And then have you got any more majors?
No more majors for me.
my last one then is judgment. I just thought this was brilliant because when I first looked at it, I thought, is it like another death figure? Because it almost feels like a death figure, but obviously in white. But it was done purposely without any features or anything like that because the judgment, it was saying, could it be an angel? Could it be your God? Could it be death that's taking you from the physical realm to the next realm to be judged? So I think it's because people's beliefs are such a personal thing. The judgment card is always seen as very religious, isn't it? In terms of a trumpeting angel and bodies rising from the graves and facing the final judgment. It's almost biblical. So by depicting it in this way, it's like, well, that's down to interpretation of what you see the judgment figure as, whether it's an angel, whether it's God, whether it's a death-like figure.
Yeah. I was just looking at because who was it that asked? I think it was Natalie. No, Nicola. Sorry. Somebody. Oh, there it's there. I'm confused about the devil. So is the devil good then? Because it depicts like the demonized feminine.
You see, I don't see the devil as in the Christian sense of the devil, because everything that's good is God or Jesus, and everything that's bad is the devil. And I think the devil is anything that is holding us back, keeping us trapped, in bondage, enslaved. It's about a state of being and something that we perhaps need to break free of the shackles from and move on. So, yes, I guess the devil has negativity, but it's also comes through as a reminder, doesn't it? But then I think Fyodor Pavlov is saying that throughout time and history, people are demonized. People are depicted in a certain way. Just because Eve was the person who, tempted Adam, suddenly she's the cause of all wrongs. You know what I mean? Or I don't know enough about Lilith to talk about demonization, but
yeah, I think to me, we're getting dangerously close to getting very kind of a religious and philosophical here, but to me, there's no such thing as the devil. The devils are in each and every one of us. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has the capacity for being, really good, and everyone has the capacity to be at times really bad. And I think that what people in ancient times did was whenever something bad happened, rather than taking response. I'm saying ancient times as though I'm like, no, we don't do this anymore. We do, everybody does it. But like, rather than taking ownership of your bad decisions or your bad actions or whatever it is, people say, oh, that's the devil. The devil made me do it, or the devil tempted me. So to me, it's almost like a scapegoat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the same as I don't believe in sin, but the original sin was, the whole Adam and Eve story, and the fact that she followed the devil, the serpent, and partake of the fruit, and then got Adam to do the same. It was all on her. It's like, where does that sort of, why do we still linger on to that crap thousands of years later? Do you know what I mean? So there is no such thing as sin. you know, there's crimes, you know, but there's no sin, particularly if you're not hurting anybody and you're operating within the law. And I can't get my head around it. But
Yeah. And just to scratch beneath that and go to a whole new level of controversy, I think it was originally Becca that might have said this, like years ago on a live. She just was kind of chatting away, and I thought, do you know what? You're fucking right. She said, like, basically, according to the story, what Eve did was ate from the tree of knowledge. So her eyes were opened, she gained knowledge, and that was a sin. Was it really? Was it really? Is that really a bad thing? I don't know.
And you know, I always remember in the Mormon church hearing, and because of that, the curse for all females after that was periods and the pain of periods and pain of childbirth. I'm thinking, what sort of God would look at somebody who wanted to have knowledge and think, right, not just you, but every single female. It's messed up. Who was it said that on a live?
Becca.
All right.
Just to bring it back to the devil card, like for me, no card is all good or all bad. To me, the core of the devil is about desire, right? Now, sure, our desires can lead us to a really bad place. They can, cause us to fall into patterns, really bad habits, and the devil can represent all of that. But equally, people have done great things. They've achieved great things through sheer force of their desire. Do you know what I mean? People have climbed mountains. People have discovered amazing scientific discoveries. That all comes from a place of desire, of drive. And to me, the devil represents that drive, that desire within all of us. So at its core, it's not good or bad. It just is. It's what we then take and do with it that makes it good or bad. So, yeah. Anyway,
exactly. Duality in all things, isn't there? And the tarot is no different. There's duality in every card. And that's why I don't read reversals. I don't see the need to read reversals, because to me it's more about the questions that's being asked and it's about the position of the cards. Yeah, absolutely. There's now I've got desire playing in my head. Yeah. Anyway, what minors do you want to start with first?
Oh, I've prepared and I've put mine in the Simon order, so I've got the cups first.
Yay! The Simon order.
Yeah, cups, wands, swords, pentacles. Yeah. Yeah. I remember it because it's a stupid ass order. That's why I remember it. But hey, it's yours.
And all it will be is probably the first ever tarot deck that I got came in that order.
Well, I've only got cups and swords in my favourites. So,
how many cups have you got?
I've got 3 cups, and I've just seen your first one, and my first one is the same as your first one. 2 of cups, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it because, well, like everything else, the art's really nice, but I like the fact that we've got the sun and the moon, and I like the fact that it appears to be 2 guys to me, although very kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? Gender neutral.
Yeah.
Androgynous.
Yeah. I love it as well. Everything's opposite about them, like night and day, dark hair, blonde hair, but the unity of the hands are clasped together. They've got the cups ones linking, but the hands are clasped together. And again, there's a tree, and it's when you think about life and nature mirroring, the roots of the trees that clasp together with other trees, they make those connections, they intertwine, and I just love that. That's what's happening in the image as well.
Yeah, the hands, the non-cup holding hands, they appear to be handshaking, don't they? Rather than like intimately hand holding, or like you could see it either way. So that's good for, because I know like people don't necessarily like to see this as automatically being about like a romantic relationship. Do you know what I mean? Or like an intimate relationship in that way. Some people do like to see it as like a partnership or like a platonic type friendship. So like you can totally get that from this, I think, if that's how you read it, which is
Yeah.
another plus for me.
Yeah, I kind of have that view of the Lovers card. I think it's because it's my life path card as well. I think the Lovers is, for me, the true Lovers of the deck is the Two of Cups. To me, that's more about love, intimate relationship love than the Lovers card.
Okay.
But again, absolutely right. People look at it differently, and if you can draw something that connects with you and your relationship with the card, then that's great.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
What's your next?
5. 5 of Cups. I think it's beautiful. I love again, it's the colour, but it's the way that it makes the cups and the spilled water stand out. I love the river. Looks really vast because of the colour, and the colour of the night sky. You would think that because it's all using more or less the same shade of blue, that it would just all be kind of a bit like mashed together as one, but it's not. Like it feels really like, I don't know. It all feel it's done really, really well. So it is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful image. I got the one before. I'd got the 4.
Right.
This is the first time I've looked at the 4 differently. So if you think of the RWS 4 of Cups, it's the person with the folded arms and there's a cup coming out and they're not kind of focusing on that. This was the first time I was like, is that cup being taken away? You've got 2 hands. They're not touching the cup. It's almost like they're drawing the cup away whilst he's not looking.
Okay. Yeah, got you.
And I mean, that's not my interpretation of the 4 of Cups, but it just made me look at it differently. And I thought, that doesn't look like the cup is being offered. It looks like his back's turned, he's looking away, and this cup is being taken because he's not focused on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose like I'm kind of the same as you. I would usually just kind of hone in on the right. Well, there's an opportunity there that you're maybe not fully appreciating, or you're not ready for, or you're not seeing it, or you're so caught up on being bored with the other cups that you're not seeing the new opportunities. But I suppose the extension of that, the end of the story is, and if you don't get your arse in gear soon, then you're going to miss out on that opportunity. So I suppose it is just a bit of an extension of, the usual interpretation. For me, anyway, I think it works quite well.
Yeah. Any more for cups for you, Chris? Did you say?
Yeah, one more. I've got the 8 of Cups. The atmosphere, I think, is very atmospheric. Love the waterfall. I think it's beautiful. I do. It's a bit odd the way, so there's this tiny wee mountain. I think you can call it a mountain, like just this kind of a rock, and amongst this vast, like river, lake, whatever it is, and he appears to be trying to climb up this rock, but I feel like you're going to fall in. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't look like there's much room for you to put your feet. But that said, I do still love it. And what actually, now I'm thinking about it, like what's nice as well is like the cups aren't all just arranged behind them. It's almost like he's following his heart, he's following his desires, he's following his dreams. I'm saying he, but it could be, we can't see the face. But yeah, It's quite unique.
Yeah. And, I've got a joint one. I've got the king and queen, because in this deck they're the only two. They're just they're just so connected. They're looking at each other. They're toasting each other. She's heavy with child. It's just, I don't think it's such a beautiful pairing.
Yeah, the
The
king's
other
very
is
camp.
either looking
He's
in
very
different.
zesty.
Is very what?
Camp, zesty. Do you not think?
I guess. But modern relationships and all that, I'm not here to judge.
Right, I don't have any wands, so do you want to do your wands cards?
I've just got one's card that I wanted to mention, and just purely because of the balance of genders, we often see this card with all males fighting, and I just think that was a really good depiction. That's all I've got to say about it. Really.
Something about that's one card where I'm like, there's very little. You can barely see the color in it.
Yeah, just the ones themselves.
Yeah. So that's one card that I'm maybe. Well, I still like it because the images, the art's still beautiful, but I would have liked it better if there was more colour.
Yeah.
But that guy at the back's got a nice bum.
How can you see the facing forward? Oh, at the front, at the back. This one.
Yeah, like, aye. The front of the card.
How can you see? The guy at the back.
I can spot a nice bum anywhere, Simon. Swords next, yeah?
Yeah.
I know you've got this one because you mentioned it, but I don't know if you've got the one before it. I've got the Two of Swords.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. I think with a lot of these cards, it is just the vibrant reds that I love.
They really pop, don't they, in this suit?
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing something interesting with the swords. Usually, a lot of Two of Swords really picks his steer on the crossed swords, like the holding them like that. But this is quite different, which I think is cool.
So this card is about trusting your gut. That's why they meet in the solar plexus area. So he is blindfolded, like Pixie. Well, he's not blindfolded, but he's blocking his vision.
Mm-hmm.
But focusing on the gut feeling.
Yeah, nice. I've got the 3 as well.
Have you?
Not very often I'll pick a Solabusca style 3 of Swords, but no, I actually really like it. I think the anatomical heart is really cool. It's really well done. What's your next one?
6.
Oh, yeah, I've got that too.
Making the journey on her own. No one's doing it for her. No, again, I think it appears to be in the RWS a woman with child, and there's the man there that's kind of almost like punting, really. But yeah, just making that journey on her own, independent. Nobody doing it for her.
She needs to sort those swords out, though. Those swords need to be put into some sort of order. I'm sorry, but that's just an accident waiting to happen. Isn't it, though?
So let's just forget her bravery of crossing the perilous river. Let's just criticise her organisation.
Well, did ask.
That's funny.
Right, I jump a few now.
Okay.
I've got the 9 next.
Yeah, same.
Cool.
Wow, we're almost the same with the swords.
We are, aren't we? We're dead aligned.
Yeah.
Again, it's just the atmosphere. I love the owl and the bat, and the fact that he's looking out into the night. I think that's really cool. Yeah.
And the because this is always depicted as the nightmare card, isn't it? But nightmares aren't always as scary as they perhaps seem to be. I mean, what's scary about an owl? I mean, bats are pretty scary when they dive bombing you, but other than that.
And I've got the 10 as well.
Yeah.
You got this?
No, I've done with swords. I've done with swords.
I like that he's not lying dead on the ground. He's kind of it looks to me like he's getting up. You can see that he's been hurt. There's blood spatter on the ground. But to me, a big part of this, the 10 of Swords, is it's the renewal of the cycle. So yeah, you've hit rock bottom. You've been through a lot of really difficult stuff, but now it's time to move on. It's time to kind of take the learnings from what's happened to you and move forward, onwards and upwards type thing. And I just think there's a real strength in that card and what we see in him. And I think that like from a reading for myself point of view, but also I feel like when you read for other people, lots of people do come for a tarot reading because they're going through it. Do you know what I mean? So it's cards like this that people can really relate to. It's cards like this that you turn over and people are like, yeah, that's what I've been through. How do I what's next? Do you know what I mean? So I think when cards show the difficulty but also the strength, I find it really powerful and meaningful.
Just wanted to circle back a bit because Sunique has asked, is the figure in the Eight of Cups on the other side of the mountain? And I think at first glance it might look that way because of the position, but you can see where the foot is actually on this side of the mountain. But I can understand why it might look like that at first glance.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just got 2 left now for the coins.
Cool.
How many have you got? 0. Okay. I just like the 3. I love the fact that they're working on this one here and it's not gone into position yet. But you've got it's almost like an apprenticeship card, isn't it? You've got the older generation teaching the younger generation a skill that they see through life. Just that imparting of knowledge and nurturing and training. And I just really liked it. I thought it was a nice image. And it's going to get the rest of them.
Yeah, I like how gentle it is as well. Like he's imparting his knowledge, but you get a real there's a real friendly vibe about that card. Like he's doing it in a really kind and nurturing way, rather than sometimes with Pixie's 3 of Pentacles, sometimes it almost looks like the other 2 are kind of laughing at the guy trying to do the culture or whatever he's doing, Yeah, there's there can be an element of judgment about it, but that is very nurturing. It's very encouraging. There's the hands on the shoulder. He's kind of pointing and stuff. It feels really nice.
You took the word right out of my mouth. I almost said that, Sonique, about Poppy Palin's version. Yeah. And then I just got the 4. I really like this 4. It's very different. It's almost like she's looking out over a balcony and then she's got these coins hiding behind her back. She doesn't want people to see what she's got. She looks quite affluent. She's dressed quite... It's almost like... I know it's often seen in RWS as the miser card. I don't see it that way. I see it as somebody that's being quite prudent and wanting stability because it's a 4, and maybe financial stability and security. So they're holding on to what they've got. But in the book, it mentioned that the reason why one of the coins is placed at the head was to illustrate that it's a dominant thought for this person. The coin is the dominant thought that's occupying the mind. But that could be positive as well. You know, if you are somebody that's having to tighten the belt and be quite frugal because they want some sort of stability and security, then it is going to be forefront of your mind as well.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Four of Coins? Do you see it as miser?
Because I will often read with reversals, I kind of view it as if it's upright, I lean more into the kind of this is stability of the material realm, you know, the kind of a positive aspects of it. So it's like, you know, well, you know, if any element is supposed to be stable, it's the earth element. You know, it just represents you being quite stable, and having control of your, you know, your finances and your physical environment, all of that kind of stuff. If it's coming up in shadow, if it's coming up in reverse, then, you know, I think it can sometimes indicate that we're trying to be a bit too kind of so like you mentioned about it being like kind of a, you know, that's on the mind, it's at the forefront of your mind, but you can also look at that as it's blocking off one of your chakras. And I think that's I think Rachel Pollock might say that about Pixies Four of Pentacles, is you look at where the Four Pentacles are, they're blocking off like the root, the crown, the heart chakra, and maybe something else, can't remember. But so there definitely can be like you're clinging on to stuff that you need to relax a wee bit and like invest it wisely. But yeah, so I'll read both interpretations just depending on what one feels right or whether it's upright or reversed.
Yeah. And Nicola says, I think it can be limited if people aren't allowed themselves to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is the bit where we normally ask people in the chat what's their thoughts on the deck. Do you have it? Do you enjoy using it? Is it one you've not seen before? Just your general thoughts. And then we'd kind of sum up with our overall impressions. All I'd say is really that this deck, I think, manages really well the ability to blend timeless with contemporary in its art style. I do think it's very accessible because it follows the RWS, but it still manages to deviate away and put its own unique stamp on that RWF tradition. And I also think, you know, it should be celebrated for its inclusivity. It's unashamedly unapologetic, and so it should be. And I think, you know, it's a modern deck, but has that timeless feel to it, and that's why I connect with it. I just think it's in some of the illustrations it's very simplistic, and then in others there's lots of little details that you don't always spot straight away.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think that it's a beautiful deck. When it comes to being inclusive and depicting like different people's stories, I know that people kind of have different opinions on that kind of stuff, and some people come at it from a different point of view. And I know like to some people, some things do come across as being quite like, you know, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like tick boxy. To be honest, for me, I'm never, unless an artist outright comes out and says, I don't like that, I'm only putting that in my deck because I feel like I have to. Unless somebody outright says that, then to me, if you're making an effort to show different people, to be inclusive, then that can only be a good thing. Because to me, the issue with a lack of inclusivity is I grew up going to a Catholic school where I didn't see any gay people, any role models, anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So I know what it's like to not see anyone like you. And I know for the longest time I thought that I was wrong because of that. So if I perhaps saw teachers and other people and whatever it is, you know, if I saw lots of people like me, then I maybe wouldn't have thought that for so long. You know, cry me a river, eh? Like, obviously, I'm like, all's turned out well, but that's why I think inclusivity is important. So anyone who's trying to be inclusive, whether you hit the mark or whether you maybe miss it slightly, but as long as your heart's in the right place, then I think it's good. What's nice about this deck, though, is that Fyodor is telling his own story. Do you know what I mean? He's not like telling other people's stories, as far as I'm aware. Like, he is a queer, trans, Russian American artist, and that's very much the theme that we get throughout this deck. So he's being inclusive and, coming from the heart, which is, not everyone has the position to be able to do that. So I think that it's brilliant.
I think it's similar to Ross Salerno, isn't it? Who did New Choice Tarot de Marseille. That's his story. The Berlin club scene, and he's put his life and his lived experiences into a deck, and yeah, I like that, and that's exactly like you said for Fyodor Pavlov. This is his lived experiences, and
yeah,
I think it always feels, and I do get what you say. I guess where I've had umbrage in the past was like, and they're forgiven now because they've done some brilliant decks, but going back 10 years, if you looked at some Hay House decks and there was the one token, person of color, I just thought, oh, it just felt like it was an add-in. And we have seen a shift over the years with that, but I think that yes, you're right in terms of an attempt is better than no attempt, but also when it's from somebody who is depicting their life experiences in a deck. If I was to create my own tarot deck, I'd want it to have things in there that are meaningful to me. Otherwise, I'll just be putting another deck out into the world of which there are a myriad already. I'd want to put my stamp on it. So I think that's what's important as well. And I had to go back and have a look at the figure in what Greg was saying in the Four of Cups, just to see if I agreed or not.
I'm going back now. He's all right
for a cartoon. It's very Jessica Rabbit-ish. This is.
I'm sure there's more handsome people on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So next month, then.
Did we decide what we're doing?
We did.
Did we? What was it?
You forget.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing.
Oh yeah. I'm going to stand on the fucking desk. It's right there.
I was going to say, I'm sure you went and got it off the shelf.
Honest to goodness, man.
Can
you take me anywhere?
So what did... let's have a look. So we go for the first Thursday, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Which will be... the 2nd.
Okay. 2nd of April.
Yeah. Throwback Thursday and Keymaster Tarot. Cool.
Great.
Anything you got coming up that you want to mention, Chris? Or
oh gosh, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I do have got a couple of markets. I've got a market. Oh gosh, the 22nd of March, in Glasgow City Centre. So for most of the folk here, that's not going to be helpful information. But for anyone who is local, I'll be reading at the Glasgow Witchy Bazaar on the 22nd. Yeah, other than that, I'm not really sure. I'm hoping that I'll have some guests coming up on my channel, like coming live with me. I'm not sure who yet, but yeah, I'm hoping to get some people on with me to do the sip and slings. So, but yeah. What about you? Anything happening?
I've still got a load of decks to review, but I'm working my way through them. I'm not doing Cuppa Catch Up and cards on Saturday because I'm on a trip, but there will be a vlog at the weekend. So we're going to Lady Bower. Don't know if you've heard of that. And Derwent. So Lady Bower is I forgot what it's called. I'm getting that brain foggy time of night. But where there's it looks like a sinkhole in the middle of a lake where it just all pours in. It's a beautiful spot. And we're doing Derwent as well. We've got Spotlight on the 21st, which I think is 2 weeks on Saturday. Reservoir, yeah, kind of, but it's got a word because it just looks like a giant sinkhole in the middle of a lake. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I've got coming up, but I'll images.
I've got you're not going live on Saturday because Saturday is Sandy's away, so I'm going to be in my lonesome this weekend. Oh, I see it. I see.
Yeah,
that's quite cool.
Reservoir circular. Yeah, looks amazing though, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, so I'm going there. Why not?
Nice. Excellent.
Sonon is like the 7 p.m. news.
I think that's maybe Simon is like the 7 p.m. news because you go live at 7 p.m.
All right. And I always post my videos to go out at 7 p.m. wherever I can as well. If I get home and record them, yeah, every night, 7 p.m.
I've never noticed that before.
Haven't you?
No, I've never noticed that it's at 7.
Yeah, Ferdiad made a comment a couple of weeks ago saying, oh, it's either Ferdiad or David. Right. One of the two said to me, I'm getting quite used to your 7 p.m. And I thought I've actually been doing it for about 7 years.
Obviously far more observant than I am, which wouldn't be difficult, to be fair.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. It's been great to hang out. And we will see you next month for Keymaster Tarot.
Thanks, everyone.
See you soon.